together, and please give a warm welcome to Samantha Ruth Prabhu.
కోకా కడితే కొర కొరమంటూ చూస్తారు పొట్టి పొట్టి కౌనే వేస్తే పట్టి పట్టి చూస్తారు కోకా కాదు కౌను కాదు.
The Ooh Antava girl, the family man girl. You're known for so many amazing roles in Telugu cinema, in Tamil cinema as well. 14 years now in the film industry, Samantha. It's taken you 14 years to come here to the India Today conclave.
I was just going to say that. Took me 14 years to be on this stage. Wow. Did it have to take that long?
Yeah, I agree. We should have had you much earlier, but it's amazing that you're here now.
Thank you for having me.
And I think you're here when you're at your highest, so that's great to see. Let's talk about your journey first of 14 years, and I'm sure you reminisce it a lot because you were a girl from Chennai. You dreamed big. You hoped to achieve a lot. You didn't have any big name, no godfather in the industry. Your family wasn't into the film industry either. How did you really kick off your career with a bang, with a Gautam Vasudev Menon film?
14 years, sometimes 14 years feels like a very long time. But sometimes 14 years when you're doing something you love can just fly by. Wow.
These are from your first film.
I don't remember that girl though. That girl was a scared little puppy, very eager to please, and just quite desperate to fit in actually. I think for the longest time, I just wanted to fit in. It was, there was a fear I operated for the longest time from a space of fear. I think when your resources are limited, and mine were extremely limited, growing up and coming from having humble beginnings, my resources were limited. So the fear of failure drove me for the longest time. And it pushed me. I don't even know if I operated from a space of love and kindness. I don't know if I would have been able to achieve what I have achieved in the last 14 years. I think that fear was an incredible driving force for me.
When did that change? When did you decide that, look, I'm not going to work and, act out of fear, but I'm going to do this to succeed. I'm going to do this because I love doing it.
In fact, very recently, when I got sick is when I realized that the fear was motivating me, but it was also kind of destroying me. And I think that although with life throwing this curveball at me with my health and with the autoimmune condition that I was diagnosed with, I think in many ways, I thought, why me? But after having gone through this ordeal of 1.5, almost 2 years now, I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's so amazing to hear. You see some of these pictures, I'm sure it doesn't sum up even an inch of the struggle that you faced battling this autoimmune disorder. But look, there were many people who didn't know what it was. Did you? What happened? When did you realize something wasn't right?
We always, while we are like, I was probably part of the hustle culture. You can't ever tell me that, take a break. I'll be like, wait, taking a break is for the weak. I'm about the hustle culture. I am about doing 10 things at a time. And I get only 5 hours of sleep and I am so productive. And I get, you sleep for 7 hours? How lazy are you? This was my attitude. And now, I think the greatest thing that I've learned is when I read this quote was, what the hustle culture doesn't realize is that Rest is not taking your foot off the gas, it's putting fuel in the tank, which I wasn't doing. I was just taking, and never giving my body a break, never giving my mind a break. So I think that this feeling that you ask, like, 14 years, but 14 years, to be honest, none of the blockbusters, and I had blockbuster after another, I was called this weird golden leg in the industry because I didn't have too many flops for the longest time. But I can't tell you that those were the most unhappy years of my life because I suffered from something called the impostor syndrome, where I woke up, where I always had this feeling that I wasn't good enough. I always was scared that I would wake up and it would all go away. I was scared that people would see me for who I truly was, who I thought myself to be, which was not really that great. So I suffered with this imposter syndrome for the longest time during the biggest highs of my career.
So you didn't enjoy any of the successes that you got?
I wish I could say yes, but I didn't. I never attributed my victories to me. My success to me and never owned it as my wins. I always, if you ever watched any of my previous interviews, it would always be, yeah, the film is a success because maybe the stars, destiny, the hero, the production, the director. I always attributed my successes to someone else.
I hope today you say it was because of me.
Today, I feel that this feeling of having arrived, the feeling of having arrived is subjective for different people. For some people, it's their successes. But for me, the feeling of arriving is to arrive to a place where I have finally given myself the permission to be my authentic self. All of the imperfections, all of the lows, all of the hardships, this is me. And I think this is when I truly feel that I have arrived.
I'm so happy for you that you've reached this point also of comfort, of happiness and joy in your life. When you were diagnosed with your autoimmune disorder, did you take a conscious call of coming out and going public with it because you believed there would be awareness?
If I'm being honest, I was forced to, because at that point of time I had a film that was led by me. It was a female-centric film, and it was coming out for release. It was due for release, and I was very sick at that point of time, and it was hard. So I wasn't ready to come out, but there was all sorts of speculations going around. There was all sorts of misinformation being spread, and my producers really needed me to promote this film. It would die otherwise if it had absolutely no publicity, and there's no hero, there are no other artists in the film. It was just solely led by me. So I agreed to do one interview, and obviously I didn't look the same. I was very weak. I was under a lot of medication, high dose medication, just to keep me stable. So I think I was forced up. Maybe if I was given the choice, I wouldn't have come out about my condition in such a vulnerable state, but maybe more in the state that I am in now, from a place of strength rather than such weakness. So if I was given the choice, I wouldn't have announced it and come out with it so soon.
Why is that? Do you believe, because when you did speak out about it, there was a lot of scrutiny. A lot of people, unfortunately, online said, this is a made-up condition. She's victimizing herself. How did you deal with that? Because you were already in a place where you're going through so much. How did you deal with that kind of criticism online? Did you see it? Did you see the kind of hateful comments?
Yeah. I was called sympathy queen. Yeah, I know that. I know that. But, you know, for me, my journey as an actor, as a human being, I've evolved so much from being in this business. Early on in my career, I would wake up anxious and immediately go to social media. Who's saying something bad about me? Who's written a nasty article about me? It just occupied so much space in my mind. But now, I feel that the more people accuse me of things, I have started to almost question every action of mine, every thought of mine. They have actually forced me to become the person that I can be proud of. And if I'm proud of myself, it's okay if you think something that's not true, I think. Or if you think that I am something, if it's okay, maybe, you know, sometimes I also feel that when people are going through a lot of pain, they need a portal, they need somewhere to project that pain. And I feel one little nasty comment on social media kind of eases their pain a little bit. I do sincerely believe that.
You're being extremely soft on them. But you face this a lot, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was your health, your personal life. Not many actresses come out and speak about that, you know, their personal life, what they've gone through. And even then, very often it was the woman to blame. The actress who did this and that led to all sorts of personal life choices and decisions.
It is. You know, it is tough. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And I've always believed that, yes, there's a mountain to climb. I will climb that mountain. I will reach the top, and I will reach the top knowing that there's another mountain to climb, and this is how I function. Greater the pain, greater the effort, greater the reward, and I'm ready for it.
Amazing. You've seen so many highs, so let's talk about that as well. About all of the
Otherwise,
highs
again,
that
it'll be hashtag sympathy queen. Do you want that?
Oh my God. No. I think you've conquered it. You owned it. You know, you've ensured that you sent across a fitting message to everyone who kind of tried to get attention and publicity from what you were going through. But let's talk about, you know, what everyone here, even to this date, speaks of. Your performance in The Family Man.
Don't say Uantava.
That also, Uantava as well. And it takes guts, you know, to do an Uantava, because were you scared you'd be stereotyped then and kind of put in a box? Because you did Uantava, an item girl, then you did Raji in The Family Man.
I think the decision to do Uantava was similar to the decision to do Raji. You know, in the good side of not having too many people around you, like you said, you know, no godfathers, no people in your ear, no opinions that I need to cater to make my final decision. That is the good side of not having too many people around you. The flip side is, however, that I had to really make mistakes and learn from them and really hone my gut instincts. The decision to do Uantava honestly came from a place of, I need to explore a new facet of being an actor. I have always been very uncomfortable. Well, I know you have these pictures on, but I've been uncomfortable with my sexuality. I'm not very comfortable, confident, like I said. I've always operated from a space of, I'm not good enough, I don't feel pretty, I don't look like the other girls. So for me, it was a huge challenge. It was actually, I was the first shot of Uantava, I was shaking from fear because sexy is not my thing. It's not my thing, but how I've grown both as an actor and as a person is I've always made sure that I put myself in the most uncomfortable, unforgiving, very, very difficult circumstances. I like to put myself there and fight to overcome that. It's like almost like I'm kind of slaying these demons, these inner demons, And they said, you're so small, how can you fight? How can you land a punch? It's like, let me do it.
You're doing a lot of it, I hear, in Citadel as well,
Yeah.
in your upcoming film.
Yes, a lot of action, yeah.
Can you show us a bit of what you've learned? I'll move away so that I don't get kicked in the face. I'll move away.
You have to block.
Oh my God. I don't want to be punched in the face either. Can you show us something of what you've learned?
Show you, thank God you didn't ask me to do a step in Uantava. I appreciate that.
That's coming, you know it.
Let's do some action, baby.
Yep. You also have to do it. I have to do it? Okay, can we have some music, please? I think I'm ready for my next action film. I've been trained by Samantha. Thank you for that. So you've learned a whole lot of action also for your next project.
Yeah, it was actually the hardest role of my life simply because I had to do it when I was really weak. So for me, Citadel is already a success because I shot for Citadel under the most grueling circumstances. I didn't think that I could do it, but I'm really, really, when you asked again, now I can say I'm very proud of myself. Yeah.
The mind space that you were in earlier versus now, do you think you'd still do an item song even today if it came to you?
Again or for the first time?
Again?
Again, no, I don't see the challenge in it anymore.
Because there's also a lot of questions. You're someone who's faced this. We spoke about it as a woman, how you've been targeted. And very often there's this narrative about how item songs also sexualize a woman and creates a wrong narrative around her. Did you sense that? Did you kind of hesitate because you were like, this will send out a wrong message? The lyrics of Uantava, however, very interesting.
Yeah, that I made sure of. That was fun, wasn't it? I think that for me, it was the lyrics. It was the lyrics, it was the challenge, and I think we can move past judging women for, I don't know.
For wanting to look good?
Yeah, for wanting to look good. We can do everything, no? We can look good, we can do everything.
If you had to choose between Uantava and Raji from The Family Man, which would you do?
Oh no, of course, Raji.
Raji?
Of course,
That was a very special project, I'm sure, for you.
That was
as well.
very special, yes.
And what was that like? Because do you feel that ensured that you weren't boxed in as an actor? It showed that you're diverse. It's introduced you also to a whole new audience.
Yeah, I didn't really think that it would explode the way it did. I really didn't think. I felt very responsible to play Raji because it was loosely based on real incidents, and I did not want to disappoint people. And I'm really sorry if I did disappoint someone, but it was very special to me. And there were many instances while playing Raji where it really hit home and it got a bit too real. But it also took me to a place of realization that this is what I'm meant to do. If I'm going to do another project or if I'm going to accept a role, it should give me this kind of fulfillment.
You said in the beginning about how you never gave yourself time. You were all about hustling. Today you're an actor, you're a producer, you're an entrepreneur, you host your own podcast. How are you not hustling now? This is hustling.
Is it? No.
Just about 5 things.
But I was this is something more than just doing a job. This is part of who I am suddenly. I was accepting films and doing many roles, vapid some of them, just so that, I'm there on every poster, I'm there every 1 month, I have a film release, you can't ignore me. So actresses are drilled, this is drilled into you that you have a short shelf life and you can't afford to take breaks, and out of sight, out of mind. And even here, while I sit down today and say, no, I will hold my ground until I get a fantastic project. 1 year I've taken a break. While I sit here, there is this fear and challenge that maybe I'm out of sight, out of mind. Maybe I'm irrelevant now. So I have to beat this, and I have to beat this fear of being old news and just hold and wait for that miraculous role, that role that's going to be worth it all to come my way, and I will wait.
Amazing. It would be criminal of me, and I know you didn't want to initially with the action, but you have to.
What?
One step, Prabhu Vantava.
I don't remember.
As we wrap this up, let's end it on a high, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you believe I don't remember any of this steps?
Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. Do you want to see her dance to Vantava? I think we'll have to push her to do this. Let's go.
You have to teach me the steps because I forgot.
I'll be quietly on the side.
కోకా కడితే కొరకొరమంటూ చూస్తారు, పొట్టి పొట్టి కౌనే వేస్తే పట్టి పట్టి చూస్తారు. కోకా కాదు కౌను